So we're back after a week on the DCA. First week done, all's going well, I think. I did mention at the end of my last video that I was due on, and true to form, I came on the following day. It was the most horrendous period. It was super painful, super heavy, super long, still kind of lingering, but it's part of the course with endometriosis, unfortunately. That's just very normal. It was a case of painkillers, it was a case of spending some time in bed, not really able to do a lot, absolutely wiped out, not feeling well, the whole normal endometriosis stuff. So aside from that, on the actual DCA side of it, I haven't noticed any adverse side effects. I haven't noticed feeling odd or weird or any different to I normally do with endometriosis. I have had a couple of days more towards the end of my period with more localized pain, rather than, and if you have endometriosis, you'll probably know exactly what I mean by this, like the radiated pain, the pain that goes down to your knees, the pain that comes up to your diaphragm, the pain that takes over your entire pelvis and feels like your back's being kicked out. I had that for the first few days, but it did tend to ease off, and it felt more like what I would, I suppose, describe to be period pain. Still high on the intensity level. So I don't know if it's just coincidental and it's just one of those things, or whether it is DCA doing something. I really don't know at this point. We will compare as we go through this, like where I was before I started the DCA and where I am now. But obviously 1 week in, I'm on the half dose. I'm not expecting life-changing miracles just yet. I'm hoping and praying that they will come, but right now it's, I suppose, we're just kind of getting into it. But I think the main thing with the DCA is the fact that I don't feel odd taking the medication. I don't feel unwell taking the medication. I feel as myself as I normally do. Obviously, where I've been on hormonal medications in the past, I've maybe felt a bit more emotional or a bit more sensitive, or obviously DCA is not a hormonal medication, so I've got none of that to worry about, which has been really nice. And my mood's been stable. Everything's been pretty stable, to be honest. I'd love to have come on here and been like, yeah, I'm 1 week in and I feel great. But my period kind of like pushed that out the window straight away. I'm hoping, now that I'm coming off my period, that maybe I'll start noticing some differences. And I'm not just basing these differences on, oh, I feel okay today, or I feel less good today, or whatever. I'm basing it a lot more on the tracking that I do every day. I use an Excel spreadsheet to track my pain levels, my fatigue, whether I'm bleeding or not, my symptoms, my medications. I've got a little graph down there as well, so it like puts it all into a graph, my pain levels into a graph for me, so I can look at trends, and I can use it to start trying to predict what might happen. I know obviously endo is unpredictable, so some of it is all over the place, but I have noticed some trends with my pain levels, so I can kind of try and factor that in to my day-to-day planning of life. That is something that I'm actually sharing on. I've got my website. There's a link in my bio. But if you go on there and if you sign up for the updates, so it lets you know when these videos are uploaded, so you can kind of like keep up to date with what's going on. But you also get the free endo tracker. It's a really simple Excel spreadsheet. It gives you 12 months worth of tracking, and obviously you can extend that, just copy them across, duplicate the sheets, do it for as long as you want. But it's free, it's basic, but I have found it incredibly helpful, and it's really helped me when I've tried different things as well, because I have tried different medications. I've tried NAC, for example. For me personally, I don't feel that it made a huge difference. I've tried various supplements. I don't feel like they've made a huge difference. And obviously now I'm tracking with the DCA. So I've got data based on how I normally am, and I'm going to be able to compare that to data going forward of how I am on the DCA, so we can see if there's any, I suppose, tangible difference between not being on the DCA and being on the DCA. So end of my first week, I can't say there's a great deal of difference. Obviously we had like a major period to deal with, so that's going to have kind of, yeah, been a big focus of the pain and all the rest of it last week. But I'm really excited to see where we go over the next week, where I'm on another half dose. And then I have a week off, and then I'm on the full dose. So that when we get to that, I'm hoping all goes well, and we can kind of just crack on as planned. I think the only thing I found a little bit fiddly, I suppose, doing this with the half doses is it comes in capsules. So you've got like 333 milligrams of the DCA in a little capsule, and obviously I'm splitting that over a morning dose and an evening dose, so I have to take the capsule apart, and I have to like separate out half the dose, put half back in a capsule, put half in another capsule. It's a bit fiddly, it's a bit fussy, but it's really not the end of the world. That I suppose is my only negative point about taking the DCA so far. If you can class it as a negative point, I don't know. But yeah, so I will be back with another update next week. See how I'm feeling. I might start trying to pull in some of the data into these videos as well. So once I start noticing and start seeing a difference, I can share that with you as well. But in the meantime, if you want to track your own endo, so sign up on the website. You get the emails when the videos come out, so you can keep up to date with what's going on. That endo tracker, I found it super valuable for myself, so I know what's going on, so I can keep track of my own health. I feel more in control. I feel like you can't always predict stuff, but you can get a better idea, I suppose. I found it really helpful when going to the doctors. I find it really helpful going to consultants, and I can just say, look, here's where I'm at. You know, here's a nice little graph for you to look at with my pain levels. Here's, you know, how frequently in the month I'm suffering with fatigue in the morning and the evening. Here's how I'm, you know, experiencing my symptoms, and it's all there. It's all on an Excel sheet. So feel free, help yourself to that. I found it a really useful tool. I know other people track things and they find it really useful. I know there are trackers out there. I know there are apps out there. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. I find the beauty of an Excel sheet is you can edit it. You can edit it to add in the bits that you want to add in, and feel free to do that with this one as well, by all means. But yeah, it's been very helpful for me, and I think it's a really vital part of what I'm doing now is having that data backed up, so I can compare. So if you do go down the route of trying a new medication, or your doctor gives you something, you can compare, and you can go back to your doctor and say, look, here is some black and white evidence that this is working for me, or this is not working for me, or I want to try something different. Or it gives you a backup when you're talking to people, I think, that really helps, especially if you've not had some great experiences with doctors listening to you, which personally I haven't. I know there are some fantastic doctors out there. There are some great GPs. There are fantastic consultants, surgeons. There are some absolutely wonderful people out there. I've just not been as lucky as some to come across those, and needed to argue my case more than once. But like I said, something like that has helped me. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to check in next week on the DCA side of things. I got all geared up for next week, carrying on with the half doses, obviously recording how I'm feeling every day, recording my pain levels, fatigue, all the rest of it. Still taking all the supplements every day to try and mitigate any side effects. I'm still feeling okay. I don't feel like it's had any adverse effect on me at all so far, which is good. So I'll catch you next week.
Thank you.